All right, let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to PCL Solutions webinar, Managed Services in the Age of Working Remotely. This is a very timely webinar, and I'm looking forward to hearing from the talented team at PCL. What was uncovered in preparing for today was quite a bit of information, and it became very evident how more and more companies are moving toward a remote workforce and the successes in utilizing managed IT services, and not just to help protect their employees. What I learned is how incorporating today's new remote working environments actually improve productivity. And we're going to hear a lot more on that and how it's now being done. And it really does make a great deal of sense. So some of the team at PCL Solutions will be speaking on their various offerings that include managed and cloud IT services they provide to their clients. These services primarily remove the burden from IT departments with user-friendly solutions to create efficiencies and ensure employees work more easily from remote locations, including their homes. So let's get started on the benefits of managed services for the remote workforce. But first, some introductions. My name is Frank DiCarlo. I'm the Senior Account Executive at PCL Solutions, and I'll be moderating today's webinar. With us is Patrick McCarron, Director of Business Development, Kevin Martirana, CIO and Senior Systems Engineer, Eugene Klushnichenko. How'd I do, Eugene? We can't hear you, but you're giving me the thumbs up. Eugene's our CEO. A little bit of housekeeping. This is a live webinar, and for the participants today that may not be familiar with using Zoom, we're going to be doing a little Q&A at the end. We hope you have some questions prepared. We look forward to those and your thoughts. We'll answer them. We've saved some time at the end. Let's break the ice a little bit and do some polls. We have a poll ready for everybody. Let me launch it. So we have about 70% of people already have a managed service provider, which is great. How many people in your company? Looks like a majority of people are around 10. And we have some people that are here in 100 employee capacity as well as 200 plus. They're feeling confident with their current IT infrastructure. That's good. Could your organization benefit from external IT resources? Yes, 70%. And what is most important for your IT to provide your company? And it looks like support is overwhelmingly the case, with some people also thinking that enablement and preparation is key. Driving the business doesn't seem as important. So thank you. Appreciate that. So Eugene, why don't we start out? You talk a little bit about what PCL is all about and a little bit about managed services, please.
You got it, Frank. Thank you. First of all, thank you for joining us on our managed services in the age of working remotely webinar. It is our pleasure to have you here with us today. PCL Solutions was founded in March of 2009, and for well over a decade, we have been focusing on delivering highest quality of service and becoming a true partner to our customers, and not just being another vendor. With our support and recommendations throughout the years, it allowed our customers to be more successful at working remotely today. PCL Solutions provides worry-free IT management and creative advisory services to help grow your business. PCL can help remove the worry of having to deal with day-to-day challenges of running technology, whether it's on premises, cloud, or in the data center. So before we go any further, I think we should clarify what is managed services. As defined in Wiki, managed IT services is the practice of outsourcing the responsibility for maintaining and managing, along with anticipating need for a range of IT processes and functions in order to improve operations and cut expenses, either from one-time engagement or from ongoing long-term support. Well, what that means to me is technology should not be viewed as a burden or something complex like the definition. Instead, it should be viewed as and treated as complement to the business on its path to success and profitability. This is accomplished by optimizing the technology and making it work for you. So Why managed services and why managed services with PCL? What we have noticed over and over again is how well received our systems engineers are when it comes to working with and complementing existing IT teams, while also appreciating how managed IT services allow them to work within the budget and control their expenses all at the same time. Their initial perception before working with PCL was very different and frankly opposite when it came to IT. What I like is how the customers appreciated that we take a different approach in how we do business with what we like to call our partners. The reason behind this mentality is here at PCL, we take a slightly different approach to how we deliver and view managed services. First and foremost, we are people, and we treat our customers how we want to be treated if we were in their shoes. Our primary focus is on our customer needs and understanding how to be successful together when it comes to leveraging their technology. We take a proactive versus a reactive approach. And here at PCL, we strive to proactively maintain systems to ensure the maximum amount of uptime while you and your team are working remotely. I believe PCL is the answer to technology frustration that some might come to feel during these difficult times. Because here, we strive for one call does it all. With all that said, PCL puts expert level skill sets at your fingertips and on demand. So in short, we make today's complex technology simple. Thank you.
Great stuff, Eugene. Thanks. You know, what I've seen as well is that for many companies, PCL has been essential for helping maintain operations during any type of transition or pivot, you know, especially today. We've all been pivoting. We're all working differently. There's a lot of changes in how we work. I've seen you and the systems engineers at PCL, as you say, help solve both complex and simple IT problems. Remote monitoring, as an example, offers a great deal of extra support that helps catch problems before they cause any consequences. And PCL's approach has always been a proactive one, even more so today in the form of virtual IT teams supporting clients, right? They're available to help solve problems remotely when necessary, so everything can be addressed immediately. And that's, I think that's been terrific. It's apparent that PCL has been a leader in providing critical expertise on the deployment and use of cloud, collaboration, and network access technologies. What I've also seen is that clients rely on you and your teams to anticipate their needs, forecast any complexities, keep up with the rate of your clients' business changes, allow focus on core competencies so that they're not constantly juggling IT challenges. You've got them covered. So, Pat, maybe you like to talk a little bit on the specific issues that you and PCL have addressed with clients, particularly in what's going on with today's working environments.
Yes, thanks, Frank. Hi, everyone. Let's get a little techie, but not too much, so that the buzzwords around the major topics get familiar. Okay, let's first look at remote network access and cloud support. Virtual private networks, or VPNs, are essential tools for allowing remote employees to safely connect to the company network. Now, PCL can help you decide the best approach using specific hardware or software to support the VPN client, either in conjunction with your ISP, which is your internet service provider, or in addition to them. Now, the second part of that is cloud support. Now, cloud resources are essential for enabling remote work because they're providing an anytime, anywhere device access to key apps, services, and storage. So your key applications, what you need in the way of special services, and actual storage itself. Now, we have our own cloud offering, and you'll see that later in the presentation, in our Newton, New Jersey data center, as well as partner-provided clouds that we manage. Let's look at the next item. And that's conferencing and collaboration. Now, everybody's seen in the news, if you read the Wall Street Journal, any kind of newspaper, the words Microsoft Teams, Zoom, the growth of Zoom in the last couple of years has been amazing. Anyway, team collaboration tools with integrated video and web conferencing have become essential for allowing employees to connect and communicate with colleagues and customers and to keep their businesses running. So that's an important aspect of this. Another very important aspect, and that's the next one, is security. Now, the increased dependence on hardware, applications, and devices outside company control creates multiple attack surfaces potentially. Now, remote workers may need guidance to ensure they're using good security practices from home. PCL can help users install client security software on their devices, and we can ensure the application updates and patches are properly applied. Okay, next, compliance. Adding security layers in any environment will help you meet or exceed your security and other compliance regulations. Now I'm talking about things like SOX, Sarbanes-Oxley, and HIPAA. And there are others out there depending on what industry you're in. And finally, flexibility. It used to be everybody's dream that they could work from home, they could have a telecommuting position. But what's ended up happening is that screen emulation available now on various platforms, computing platforms, allows one single screen emulation to be accessed and anywhere in the world. Now that's just an amazing thing when you think about it. And we're thankful that we're in an industry that's called essential in the time that we're in. But it was already causing a lot of interest before the pandemic hit. So I think that's about it. Again, just try to talk a little bit buzzwords, but not get too into them so that, when somebody does throw them at you, you know what they're saying. So I guess that's it for me, Frank.
Oh, that's great. It's well covered, Pat. I see some questions are already coming in. So want to remind everybody as this progresses to start entering those. And next up, we have Kevin. Kevin, maybe you touch a little bit upon how PCL Solutions and managed services support businesses.
Sure. All companies are becoming data-driven organizations and becoming more dependent on that data. It's very, very valuable data. So to define and support their products and processes, this data in this age, digital age, for most companies has become their life's blood. It's something they can't deal without. It becomes the product. And it's very, very important to be able to protect that data. PCL can take care of all of your IT requirements. And so very, very important to understand from the initial setup, ongoing management, and end user computer services. That's very important. Security, scanning, compliance. So we will be able to scan your environment. We'll be able to scan the security of your environment to make sure that you're using the best practices. And if there's some corporate compliance standard or some other standard that your company subscribes to, we can go ahead and make sure that you're compliant with that. Automated system patching is another thing that we offer through our managed services. So we can make sure that your patches are automatically applied through our help desk when you're tied into us as a client through managed services. Antivirus scanning as well. So if there's an anti-scanning requirement, which everybody should have obviously these days, we can make sure that not only do they have it installed, but we can actually make sure it's running and that it's updated, which is something that happens. We go ahead and install antivirus software on some computers, and when we installed it, it was running at that date, but there's no oversight. Well, with our environment, we can actually make sure that not only is it installed, but it's updated, has the latest preferences, and that it's executing when it's supposed to. And if there's a problem, we can go ahead and notify you, hey, this user disabled their antivirus settings. In addition, PCL has many services to help your business run smoother and smarter. So first of all, how can PCL support services, how can managed services support your business? So first, we have proper analytics that show you exactly what's going on in your environment. Next, we can ensure the proper KPIs, key performance indicators. It's not enough today that we have servers installed in our data center that we maintain them in a running condition and they're up. A lot of times you have critical services that don't have to just be up, but they have to be maintaining a certain level of connectivity to the customer and a certain level of performance. So very, very important that we can also support not just that it's healthy, but also that it's delivering at the level and the speed that it's supposed to. And then obviously we can use these services to help control your technology spend. So you don't have to spend a lot of extra money on new hardware, faster equipment, because we're already showing with proper analytics, we're giving you all the information you need to be able to, the next option, take to management. So If you have a corporate security policy that we need to comply with, managed services can make sure that the environments are complying with that, and we can keep that updated. And I guess last but not least here, next slide, we can take this information to present it to senior management and give them concrete data. Imagine this, right now you're going in and you're having a problem. Your users are complaining that the server is not fast enough, or they're not saving, or files are taking too long to save or download or deliver. Well, where does the problem exist? If you have proper managed services, we can tell you where the problem exists. Is it in the software? Is it at the workstation? Is it a network problem? Is your server fast enough? Is there not enough CPUs? Does it need faster storage? Is there enough networking? We can go ahead and delve into all those things. We can even troubleshoot the applications. So we can handle things, as I mentioned, we can handle things from the initial setup when we set things up. We can handle the ongoing management and end-to-end computer services. We can do the security scanning, the automated system patching, antivirus, and we have many services that we can make things run smoother. Your business has unique needs and challenges. That's why PCL Solutions created a unique team of talented and skilled system engineers that will administer your end user computing on your computer's behalf, on your company's behalf. So you can take that time to focus specifically on your business. Not only do we monitor the servers, which a lot of people can do, we actually monitor the workstations. So all the client machines themselves, you know, a lot of times people say, oh, the server's slow, the network is slow, stuff is slow in the cloud, stuff is slow in the on-premise, but it could very well be the workstation's not fast enough. And that dovetails perfectly into the monitoring discussion that we're going to talk about now. 73% of businesses report that application performance and poor user experience cause productivity losses. Everybody's saying the network's not fast enough, this is not fast enough, but with these analytic tools that we're going to be talking about and monitoring, and with our managed services on top, looking at everything, the entire solution, not just the server end, not just the data center end, but the client workstations as well, we can give you some pretty good information. And with that said, we'll go to the next slide. And we're going to talk about and show you a little presentation about remote monitoring systems within PCL.
One of the most challenging times for an IT administrator is when a user calls in complaining of a slow application or downtime. This affects end user experience and disrupts business productivity. Several years ago, IT performance monitoring and diagnosis was simple. IT teams had to look into network and server metrics like CPU, memory, and disk utilization. But applications today are more complex, heterogeneous, and multi-tiered. New technologies such as containers, digital workspaces, and cloud computing are commonly used. And there are many different application technologies: Java and .NET web applications, SaaS, SAP, and other enterprise applications. Monitoring just resources is no longer enough. All that matters today is user experience. If users are unhappy, your IT deployments will not be successful. So your IT team needs 360-degree visibility of user experience. Leverage a wealth of performance and user experience insights gleaned to analyze trends, forecast capacity needs, and plan to fine-tune the infrastructure. The result: happy users, enhanced productivity, and tangible business ROI.
All right. Okay, let me just say in closing, as businesses continue to adopt IT for their core operations and processes, become more important than ever for IT applications to be reliable and deliver great performance. Poor application performance results in loss in productivity, which in turn has a direct impact on revenues, affecting customer satisfaction, and it tarnishes your brand's reputation when you can't deliver. Supports all server applications. So what we're doing with our monitoring, it supports all server applications, workstations. We support switches, routers, firewalls. We support storage. So we're monitoring everything. So we know every single component within your environment is being monitored by us 24/7. And in a little while, if we have some time, I'll go ahead and give you an example of how that looks if we've got some time moving forward. Let me just talk about IT infrastructure. Hardware procurement is some of the services that we deliver at PCL. And software delivery, consulting, networking, premise cabling, power cable design and install, on-premise solutions, which is what you have when it's installed at your location. Co-location solutions in our private cloud data center. We have 3 data centers. SaaS-based solutions, AWS-based solutions. We offer technical support, managed services, co-location, private cloud, business continuity solutions, and hybrid hosting. So on top of managed services, we also deliver support. Okay. All right, so it's showing our 3 data centers that we have and certifications at those data centers.
It's terrific. Thanks, Kev.
Thank you.
I got to tell you, with all that information, which is incredible stuff, what jumped out at me, because everybody's always concerned about costs. What jumped out at me is the controlling a budget, which I would imagine holds up a lot for your clients, right? This idea of being able to control what is being spent on a monthly basis and forecasting over 6, 8 a year or going further, exactly what you're spending with managed services, right? I mean, you hear all the time with different companies that they're playing fix it, right? All of a sudden something breaks and they're scrambling. But with managed services and a partner like PCL Solutions, that's all controlled. You know exactly what your budget is, and you can forecast complexities and things that might be coming up and seeing what needs to be fixed and all that great stuff, right? Does that sound? It makes sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Eugene, I think you said something, but you're muted.
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm agreeing with you, Frank. Yep, makes perfect sense. That's
Yeah.
what we do.
It's great. So we got some questions coming in. First one is, how can PCL help me with working back and forth between home and the office? How can PCL help me with working back and forth between home and the office?
Hey, Frank, it's Pat. I think I'll take a quick shot at that one.
Yeah, sure.
Usually a uniform master plan is designed if we're looking at a corporation with remote employees. So that design would typically include things like cloud-based apps, which we showed on the screen before, like Office 365, where no matter, once you have an account and you log on from different devices, you're at the same place you were last time you were in there. So the applications are synced. Now, also certain application specific requirements for the company. You may have, custom accounting applications that need to be specially set up to be synced. In other words, that you can work at home, go into the office and pick up where you left off. So typically you do have to kind of look at the situation and look at specifically what you're up against. But anything that can normally sync up and be shared in the cloud is probably the best way to get started with that if you are moving back and forth. I don't know, any other ideas, guys?
I think that pretty much covers it.
That sounds good to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was well said.
Yeah.
What else we have here? Can you help with bringing my servers off-site?
Sure, I'll take that one. Absolutely. And it's something that we've done, have period of 12 years. We have done that time after time. And bringing server off-site doesn't always mean, physically bring the server to another location. It could be a form of disaster recovery solutions where we just replicate what you have on premises into a secure locations like a data center. It could be, in fact, a physical server being moved away from on premises and brought into a data center. Or if you don't want to have to worry about server period, then we can rent your server and provide management around the server, which will satisfy your needs when it coming to bringing servers offline or not having to worry about service period. So
Great. I guess people could also do that when they buy a new server, right? So they could even on premise, they could buy a new server and they could replicate that, migrate it to a new server.
absolutely, yeah. It just there are multiple factors that come into play when talking about doing things off-site. A lot of times the bottleneck ends up being the actual the end user's location, unless they have enterprise connectivity. But as far as bringing it, replicating it to a data center, to cloud, that's all doable. Or if you just want to, physically place it into our secure tier 3 location, that's not a problem as well.
Terrific. Another question we have is, what kinds of redundancy and failover services do you offer?
I'd love to grab that one if you don't mind, guys.
Chomping at the bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, we run the full gamut. We have the ability to do replication on site. If you have an on-premise solution, we have backup ability to be able to back up the tape or the disk, which is great. We also have the ability to back up your data specifically to another spinning disk volume. So, a lot of people say, hey, it's great you back up, but it's going to take me 36 hours to restore. So part of our whole backup strategy for you, if that's an issue, would maybe we back up your data to tape or to another disk, but maybe we also replicate and keep that disk in synchronization. So if you lost your primary RAID, we can go ahead and stop services, demote the primary RAID, promote the secondary RAID with the synchronized data on it, and bring you up that way. So that's some of the ways that we can do that. In addition, we have all sorts of hardware to hardware failovers. We have virtual environments, so we can fail over that way. And we can put your data in multiple places, either in our location, on our storage. We can store your data in the cloud. We can back up to the cloud. So really, it's infinite is what can be done. It really depends on the customer's environment and what their corporate compliance are, because different companies have different types of requirements and how they're supposed to back up data. And different workflows have different, demands as far as what they need to deliver, but we're fully capable of delivering at every level on that.
That's great. We're getting up on the half hour. Let's get one more question in, and we'll respond to answers to the other questions on here. Sorry we didn't get to them. The one I'm going to choose is, how is managed services different than support?
Okay, I'll take that one.
Okay.
I'll take that one. Yeah, because a lot of times, support managed services are viewed as one, but in reality, they're two separate things. So think of support as, something breaks, that you can rely on somebody to be there to fix it. That's support. Now, managed services is taking something that Kevin spoke about and touched on, is more of a proactive approach of constantly keeping an eye on your systems and working on having maximum amount of uptime and, to ensure that they're operating properly and they're there at a time of need. So this, I guess, making you more aware. So the support and managed services, they complement each other, but at the core, they're two separate things. So that's that.
Terrific. Anybody want to add to that? Okay. So I want to thank everybody for the time. Guys, thanks for everything you brought to the table today and speaking about managed services in the age of working remotely. It's certainly timely, and it's great that you made the time to share a little bit of how PCL Services has been helping their clients and what they're prepared to do going forward. You have any questions, of course, anybody, please reach out. You can reach us at PCLsolutions.com. You can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. We'll be recording this so you can watch it in the future, and look for our next webinars that are coming up. We have one in a couple of weeks with a surveillance company, Verkada. And again, another timely conversation where we'll be talking about how surveillance cameras really aid and support what's going on today. So I want to, again, thank everybody and have a great day. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for having us. Take care.
Take care.